So
yeah, I don't. But it's
you're
like
literally yelling at clouds.
Go ahead, yell at yourself, yell at clouds, yell at your friends. If you see his career defined by a press conference where he gave $1 million check to a Boys and Girls Club and a comment over China where even the commissioner got in trouble, everybody was walking on eggshells, then knock yourself out. But it's like the hoax people, it's like the voter fraud people. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in engaging with you.
No,
Leave me out of it.
I've also stopped arguing with those people. The Eagles are headed towards a quarterback competition between Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts next season. But Wentz is not interested in that. He would reportedly prefer to start fresh with another team in 2021. However, the Eagles are not looking to trade him right now. Teams have begun calling about Wentz. And Philly is listening, but they will not move unless they get the right offer. Apparently, they want a first-round pick, which I don't know what team wouldn't offer a first-round pick for Carson Wentz.
You get one, sure.
I would imagine you would get more than a first-round pick for Carson Wentz.
How about Carson Wentz just saying this? Listen, the minute you drafted Jalen Hurts and he looks pretty good, you got a quarterback, so let me go. I mean, if Jalen Hurts wasn't there, then you could be like, okay, I got a new coach. But in the end, among the other things, you drafted a quarterback. He played. He was pretty good.
And you benched me.
Yeah, so I'm out. I get it.
I don't get what's going on in Philadelphia. Maybe I'm missing it. I'm not seeing the forest through the trees here.
Have you ever had somebody in your life that you thought was really upstanding and ethical, and then in one instant you're like, oh, they're awful?
Yeah.
You've had that.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, for the last 7 years, I've been protecting them. I think they're well run. And in the last month and a half, I'm like, oh, they're a complete tire fire. My bad.
Yeah.
I
think Doug Peterson deserves a lot of credit for that because it seems like he was great makeup for what was going on there. He held it together.
After you read the stories on Lurie and Howie Roseman, I got nothing against them, but I had no idea it was this maze of power struggles.
I mean, I'm not saying he was perfect, but as soon as they fired him, it was like everything just started to unravel. And now you have a quarterback controversy or a quarterback competition, whatever you want to call it. This is a bad situation. Now, this getting out, again, why does something get out?
Somebody wants it out.
Wentz doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
You have Jalen Hurts. You benched Carson Wentz for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts isn't going anywhere. I just think it's a disaster of the situation. I don't know why they wouldn't. Obviously, you want to get fair value or, you're not going to get exact value, but you have Jalen Hurts, develop him, let Carson Wentz start fresh somewhere else. By the way, he has a $34.7 million cap hit next season, which is fifth highest amongst quarterbacks. He's missed 13 games to injury. It might not be the worst situation to just move on. You have a new head coach, start fresh, especially if he's talking about getting traded. So Patrick Mahomes is already being compared to Tom Brady and has a lot of pressure on him to win this Super Bowl in order to keep pace with Brady's career. But Mahomes is only focusing on the game, not what this would mean for his legacy.
You have to kind of focus on, for me, I'm trying to find a way to repeat, find a way to win a second championship, and find a way to do whatever I can to win with this team. But you don't get these opportunities every single year in the NFL to be in the Super Bowl and to be in these games. And then once the end of your career is done, then you can look at those things and see kind of where those moments were in your career where you could have had something or that you executed and you did go out there and get and achieve your dreams.
There was a lot of conversation about how the Chiefs were going to keep this level of excellence that they had last year. Philadelphia is a good example of this because we talked a lot about how Philadelphia acted after they won their Super Bowl, right? That we weren't really sure that was the right approach. And it turns out it wasn't because they were making fun of, the Patriot way. And, you can win multiple championships the fun way. Can you? Because you guys are not going to be back there for a very long time. But the Chiefs, and I do think that maybe we'll never know, obviously, but maybe the pandemic played a role in this because you didn't have that layover. As soon as the Super Bowl was over, essentially we locked down in March. So you didn't have that summer to go have fun and celebrate. It was just okay, now we're locked down again. And maybe that ended up being a blessing in disguise. Not that I think that the Chiefs were going to unravel, but it's an added extra focus.
No, I think it's. Listen, you and I have talked about this, whereas you're single and I got a bunch of kids and stuff, and we've lived different lives that way. But the pandemic, for me, made our family closer.
Right.
So, and for you, you've had some life alterations in it. Many you've laughed about. But the pandemic landed differently for different people, and I think the argument can be made for a young, talented team. It kept you at home and out of bars and restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to do but work out.
So to work out.
Right. and
like, it didn't matter for Brady because that's all he does anyway.
Right. And I'm not saying that they would have unraveled, but, you know, them being back there this year and having the year that everybody had, it may have played a role in that because they are not loose in any way, but to your point, they're young. This is not Brady. This isn't the Patriots with
they're
their
flashy,
system.
They're fun.
But they deserve credit. And to Mahomes' point, focus on this game. Don't worry about legacy. Don't worry about what it means if you win this game. Don't look ahead in any way. So the Rams continue to be aggressive this offseason by trading Jared Goff to the Lions for Matthew Stafford. There's been a lot of rumors that the Rams were unhappy with Goff's recent performance.
Rams were shocked. Interesting.
And Aaron Donald says the team was still surprised by the move.
I'm pretty sure everybody was shocked with it, but you know, Stafford's a great quarterback. I'm excited about having him with the team. A veteran guy that know the game, that been playing the game at a high level for a long time. You know, it was a business decision that the Rams organization chose to make. You know, I will always love Goff. You know, that's my brother forever. But you know, I guess things didn't work out how they wanted to, so they made a change.
I find it surprising that the team was shocked that he was traded. You would imagine if it was at this point that there was some kind of rumblings or doubt if he's the guy. So, and especially, I mean, that's Aaron Donald.
Well, but I would say this. I'll back the Rams. If you're going to make this move, you're probably better to make it covert. You don't want players talking about it. You're probably better be an upgrade. Players can't. I mean, listen, again, COVID, we're all sitting around. Last thing you want is that thing to get out for 6 days and players start defending Goff.
Right.
And this was like, Jared's gone. Oh, we get Stafford. Okay, I'm good. There's been no controversy around it.
No, I agree. I like the way that they handled it and that they're not, bashing Goff on the way out.
Remember when Peyton Manning went to Denver? This is really interesting, Joy. So Tebow was wildly popular there. We knew he wasn't any good, but he was wildly popular. Elway went and got the one guy on the market you could get.
And everyone would be quiet about it.
Literally, Joy, they got Peyton, and it was like, well, yeah, obviously. And so Stafford, similarly, it's like, well, yeah, he's better. So
he's not Peyton Manning, but it's not like they're making a trade and then now they're talking about moving up in the draft.
It's an upgrade.
Yes, and it's an aggressive move. I like the way that they've handled it. It's not normal. Like, to your point, we usually hear rumors about it. We're talking about Carson Wentz. Like, we're talking about Deshaun Watson for long periods of time. Even Matthew Stafford, we knew was going to be on the market for a while. Yeah. We've been talking about it for a week. So I like the way they do business.
Joy Taylor with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
So I saw a story yesterday. NFL merchandise came out. Brady's number one in the NFL. So Tampa's the number one market for him selling merchandise. Like Boston's number 2 or 3. New York's up there. Orlando, Miami. So Tom is still selling a lot of merch up in Boston, his old stomping ground. And he still has nice things to say. Yesterday, he was talking about the Patriots and what a good time it was. And here's Tom Brady talking about his past, and it just has such warm feelings about it.
Obviously, anytime you change teams, you don't know how it's going to go. But I think there's been incredible support that I've had from, all the, for the team I used to play for, all the New England fans. And, I still obviously have a great affection for New England. And, I said the other day, my kids were born in Boston. So, I have a lot of love for Boston and all of New England and the incredible support over the years. Again, it was an amazing 2 decades of my life.
Am I the only person, and maybe I am, but the Patriots now with Brady feels like a long time ago? They're irrelevant. Tom's going to be the only guy that gets 2 statues, one in New England, one in Tampa. They're irrelevant. They're so bad and Tom's so good, they don't matter. And remember this, and we kind of predicted this. We said, in Boston, the Patriots aren't the Celtics or the Red Sox. They're not even the Bruins. Those teams, Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito, the Red Sox history, the Celtics, Bill Russell, Those teams were dominant in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Even if the Red Sox weren't winning titles, they were such a part of the sport. I mean, I'm a kid that grew up in Seattle. In the 70s, here comes Freddie Lynn and Jim Rice and Louis Tiant and Carlton Fisk. Like, the Red Sox were a draw then. In the 80s, they were better than the Yankees. That's never been the Patriots. The Patriots were a mess forever. The stadium was a mess. Didn't make any money. Miami, was the team on the coast, or it was Pittsburgh, or it was the Giants. I mean, they were a mess forever before Tom Brady. Parcells was good for about 45 minutes, but he left. Pete Carroll came in. That didn't work. That's why they've never had any sustained success without Brady. Hell, Belichick couldn't win the year before Tom started, and he couldn't win the year after he left. I just don't think New England ever understood in the moment how much of this, how transformative Tom was as a personality. Do you know there are 123 professional sports franchises in America?